You gotta move. Ridiculous. Is she gonna just sit there?
Run.
Copy, sir. Can you switch on do with really fast?
Oh, I hate him so much. God, I hate this world. I hate it. Hate him.
We know a few things about Rose Valentino. One, she's a big fan of using the N-word. That was bleeped out there. And two, she's a cop in Cincinnati. In fact, not just a cop, but a cop who was actually featured in the TLC series Police Women of Cincinnati back in 2011. And she's had some other hits since then, some literal actually. Allegations of domestic violence that she'd been involved in, discriminatory policing. And that last part becomes very understandable when you see that her own body cam is apparently recording her routinely using the most foul racial slurs you can imagine. We're, again, in the same way that we bleeped it, we're not even gonna show it, but effing N-words, I effing hate them. That's what she is recorded on her own body cam as having said. It's a bit of body cam footage that they actually released, shockingly. This is Rose Valentino. She has since had her police powers revoked following a 3-month internal investigation. We don't know what punitive action other than that will be taken. But then we get into why. Why did you use this term? What is the excuse for it? And that's where it gets maybe even worse. She apparently told investigators, this is a hard job. And I was getting to a point where I was really being affected by it. I've been on for 14 years. She said she doesn't regularly use racial slurs and that she's open to seeking treatment to relieve stress caused by years on the streets. Officer Valentino, it says, has maintained that she does not have any racial biases that have affected her work. She believes this is a mental episode. So I don't normally say the things that I said there, but I'm open to getting a massage or taking a vacation or something if that would help relieve the stress of the job. JR, what do you think about that?
I guess it's time for that vacation or maybe a little bit of a time away from that stressful job that has you saying things like this. Again, it's I hate them. I hate this world. Think about it. This is a police officer. There was some person driving a Prius that was in the way. And then she got very mad and said, are you just gonna sit there? Again, a bad driver sends you into that kind of tizzy. She's got a plethora of weapons around her waistband, including a gun. Somebody flicks her off and then she decides to go, oh my God, I hate all of it. And this person is allowed to pull you over, tell you what to do, and threaten you with her weapons. 100%. But she's unhinged enough that if someone is parked badly or isn't moving and someone else gives her the middle finger, she's ready to blow up the whole world. As long as she's inside her car screaming about it. This doesn't actually affect her police work. She has no anger issues, except that she does.
No. She'll use the slur. But she won't, for instance, profile based on it. She won't use violence or not based on it or anything else. Just shouting the N-word over and over. And that's where it ends, exactly there. Don't pay attention to anything about her history or the other issues, the discriminatory policing that she's already been alleged to have been involved in. Don't worry about any of that. She's got a plan, as someone in the chat said, she's willing to take a paid time off. She is willing to do that. And is that not merciful of her? She apparently also argued that she'd been desensitized by music and hearing people talk on the street. Constant exposure has allowed this slur to slip into her vernacular. She was surprised that it came out in this context, and its use did not represent who Officer Valentino is as a person or how she feels about African Americans. I mean, she was more shocked than all of you, honestly, that it came out. But it's that damn music. And it's other people using it. And while we're on that, how come they can use it but not her? Have you thought about that? Anyway, there's other stuff you can find out about the past allegations against her and all this, but like you can't scream the N-word into your body cam. And if you do, by the way, should it take 3 months to figure out that there should be some consequences? How many times did you have to watch that video to come to a conclusion? That's my question.
It's just a one-off video there, John. She's just venting a little bit. And by the way, they did take a while because they were sifting through body cam footage in search of something else in an unrelated issue, that's where the authorities of her own authorities, I suppose, did stumble upon this. And if that hadn't happened, how often do things like this get buried in body camera evidence that never gets seen or gets destroyed? Because we also know that happens too. This is a woman, again, who can pull you over. And then when she asks for your license and registration, you have to do everything she says. And you better not say or do the wrong thing.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.